Welcome to Some Guy and John. I'm John. This is Some Guy.
Yes.
With
Stephen M. Spoker.
Rachel. There you go.
And Adam.
I'm Niki. Hi.
And Frankie and Annette. And the whole
And
crew.
the rest.
Professor and Mary. Yeah.
Why do they get the shaft? Why? There's two more names. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Because the songwriter's paid by the word.
That could
Wow,
be what it is.
we lost track so fast we haven't even named the movie yet.
Yeah.
And we can all. My faith in humanity has been restored that now 50 Shades of Grey is no longer the biggest debut of a women director movie ever.
Okay, so we're here talking about Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Since no one else has said it yet.
Nobody else has said it.
Yeah.
Which we all just got out of.
Yeah, we just got out of it.
And there was it was Saturday night.
Yeah.
And we were saying I was saying there was a line. I figured Thursday night, the real night it starts for all these superhero movies. Yeah, I figured everybody would have mobbed it, and then Friday everybody would have mobbed it again. But by Saturday, the lines are going to be a lot shorter if there would be any lines at all. But there was a line.
Yeah.
We were there
they
45 minutes early, and there was a line we had to stand.
They had a
shit.
lineup for the 9:45 show too.
Right? Yeah, Wonder Woman's doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they're not fucking like she's making money.
Oh, it's the best DC movie.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think,
well, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say that.
Well,
I would say the new phase of DC movies with Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. Those out of those four, counting this one, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Like I said, it's
Although
the
I
best
really
DC
like Man of
movie.
Steel, I like that movie.
It was okay.
and
Out of those four, yeah, this might be the better one. I might give you that. Is it better than the Dark Knight? Dark Knight Rises?
not better
No, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I think Chris Nolan still holds the crown for that one. But he's not there anymore. He's off doing his own thing.
Yeah.
I think it had the pieces to be the best DC movie ever.
Really?
I mean, like some of the I thought some of the ideas that it had, and even some parts of it, I think like, wow, if you tightened this up a little bit and maybe changed it a little bit, it maybe could have been one of the best.
I mean, I think in the same way that there was too much green screen in Phantom Menace, there was too much green screen in this movie to make it the best DC movie.
There was a lot of green
There was a ton of green screen. It was like the Phantom Menace, where there's green screen everywhere.
Yeah, it
But
is.
honestly,
Ewan
that's
McGregor
Yeah.
said he couldn't act
It didn't
really
feel
well
like
with
it.
that movie because he was talking to nobody half
I
the time.
didn't feel like it.
I didn't either.
Green
Yeah.
screen. Like the whole, like with the gods in the air thing.
No, I mean the
but-
whole like London from 1918.
Yeah, that can't be helped.
It didn't feel green screeny to me.
can't be helped, though.
like me.
I know.
was
I know.
sort of-
They can't change it. They have to make. They have to show you 100-year-old London. They're not going to build the whole set for that.
Yeah, I was sort of in.
It was
like
bad
that.
Right.
The special effects were all
It wasn't bad
Yeah,
green screen.
they were all
I'll
high.
give you that.
It was high quality special effects.
It was, but
They weren't the
everywhere.
ones where like you're constantly taken out of it by like, oh, that's fake. Oh, that's fake. It wasn't like that at all.
No, I
Phantom
gotcha.
Menace was another world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where like London, I'm like, I've been there.
Right,
That's
right.
exactly
Yeah,
what it
Bad
was like.
example. Let's say the first Captain America movie.
Yes.
There was much
Well,
less green screen.
okay.
They didn't go into a city.
No, well, they showed New York, but they did show it.
And an alleyway and a couple streets.
No, they showed Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Back when he was still, pipsqueak. So you do see 50-year-old Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You do. But when they go into combat, I don't know. I mean, it was a little bit different. I know. I got more green screen out of this one. It still wasn't terrible. I know they have to do it.
Yeah.
They got to do it. But maybe it seemed like when it comes to Marvel dollars, they just spend their dollars better. I think when it comes to production,
they have the
Marvel.
full force of the largest movie studio in
Yeah, I
the world
know.
to work
Yeah.
with.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
Like when
And also
they
it's
spend
modern
$1
day.
on Marvel, they seem to spend it better.
Well,
But they seem to get
everything
more
since
out of it.
Captain America, yeah.
Well, everything since Iron Man 1, 2008.
No, Steven said the
Oh.
advantage that Marvel has is they're all set in the modern day.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said, well, everything except the first
Except the
Captain
first
America.
Captain America movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to get into that later in the podcast.
Well, I would say that movie was
What?
closer to this movie than all these other ones.
Yes, which I want to get into later in the
Absolutely,
podcast.
absolutely.
Because it's
So-
spoilerific, the stuff that I want to get into.
Oh, I know.
So,
That didn't give away any spoilers.
right.
It didn't.
Okay. So I guess like starting at the beginning.
So, do you want to talk about the synopsis? Anybody want to pull up IMDb to give the quick spoiler-free version?
I think we do it
Wonder,
without IMDb.
I'm
Wonder
usually pretty good
Woman
about that
one. I mean, I
in
think-
World War One.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty...
And
It's her origin
Yeah, it's her origin
Yeah, her
story.
origin.
Right,
Yeah.
we see her come from the island of the Amazon,
Yeah.
and they are really the protectors of humanity, which is the whole mythos of
Yeah,
Wonder
Amazon.
Woman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. But it's set in present day 1918. And the war is going on, and they're kind of blissfully unaware of it somehow.
They're completely unaware. Well,
Yeah.
they probably know about it,
they're
but they don't care.
willfully ignorant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Talking about a blind eye,
Yeah.
but they're hidden in their little paradise island away
Yeah.
from everybody, and they happen to get stumbled upon by the war.
Yeah.
That's basically the origin. But we also get to see through, I mean, let's be honest, like the first 30 minutes of the movie is little Diana Prince
Yeah.
becoming Wonder Woman
Yeah.
and training and learning, and it's an origin story.
Of course.
So we get to see her a little, and then we get the basic premise of the other ones are Amazonians. She's something special.
Yeah.
She's something special.
She's the
not
only
just
child
an
on the
Amazonian.
island.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's-
she's
okay,
the only child on the
special.
island.
And so
Right. She's the only child on the island. Yeah.
Is it just is it just me or that whole like Wonder Woman growing up and most of the scenes on the island kind of range for me for mediocre to kind of bad.
I'll give you
Well,
that.
they're kind of trivial.
Yeah.
I won't give you I'll give you
I would
mediocre.
say bad, they're
Because
kinda like,
they
yeah.
have to be shown. Those scenes have to be in the movie because it's an origin
Yeah.
story. So I won't say they're bad, but I'll
it's
definitely give you mediocre.
Like
They were
like one
kinda-
thing,
they were kinda generic.
It kind of sort of broke the writing 101. Do not do this and do not show exposition like this.
A lot of cliche
They're just like,
exposition.
as you know, as I have told this story many
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
I'm like, that is literally the first thing you learn not to never to write. But and also it's like I genuinely feel the writers are like, well, so many epics start with their hero as a child. We need to have Diana start as a child. What you could have started with Gal Gadot as a young idealistic Amazon, and you could have not lost a thing.
Well, I think that
I don't know that that's true.
The whole story is
what they were doing was making sure you knew she was different
well,
from
the whole
everybody
story
else
is
on the island.
the
to
whole
start
story
with.
is essentially
Yeah.
a flashback. Since
Yeah.
the whole story is a
Because-
flashback,
Yeah.
we can't have a flashback within a flashback.
Yeah.
It's not Inception.
Yeah.
I think that also, without
Right,
getting
right?
too
Yeah.
spoilery
Or we got
yet,
Christopher Nolan back in my head.
without getting too spoilery yet,
Yeah.
part of the main arc of the movie is Diana realizing who she is and how she's different.
Yeah.
And without seeing her as a child
Yeah, we don't get
trying to fit in where she grows up,
Yeah.
that arc doesn't have a beginning, and therefore it's not an arc. It's a weird squiggle.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
missed two
yeah.
things. We missed sympathy,
Right.
and then immediately every little girl has somebody to identify with on the screen when
Yeah.
you show her as a little girl. So it's valuable to the studio to do that for
Right.
that reason. It's also valuable to the story to show her in an innocent stage where she's different, she's the only child, she's no other children to play with.
She's already,
know.
she still is innocent as like a 20-year-old.
It's different.
Yeah,
it's
but she's-
different
she's-
because you also see that no matter what her mother tells her, she's going to sneak off and get trained to fight because there's something in her
Yeah.
that just desperately needs that.
Yeah, and there's
Also-
the whole thing of like, you're different, you don't get to train with everybody
Well,
else the
also-
way
exactly.
everybody else does.
Exactly.
Also,
Yeah.
when she's 20 something, whatever
Yeah.
she's 20 something, and she's on the island, she's just like anybody else.
Right.
She's not really the fish out of water anymore.
Yeah.
When she's like 10 and
Yeah.
everybody's like 20 something on the island,
Yeah.
then she is still fish out of water. So it's really, we just get to see two instances where she's the fish out of water.
Yeah.
And it's just, she's the little girl and nobody's the little girl. And then she's in this new actual world that we all inhabit. And nobody's like her, and she doesn't understand all these things. So I don't know.
Her fish out of water things weren't played up for comedy.
No,
they were
actually,
they were really kind of natural. They were comedic, but they were natural. Like, what's that?
It was a really nice
What's that?
perspective.
Yeah.
Because we're so jaded because this is the world we live in.
Well,
We're gonna
right.
go, wait a minute, but that's your own people. Why are you...
Yeah.
Right.
Right,
And
right.
to see it from her perspective and go, "Oh yeah, no, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
fucked up. We
Yeah.
got fucked up."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're in the middle of the war to end all wars.
And we know there's
Yeah.
another one coming.
Yeah,
exactly.
War to end all
So
wars.
it's not exactly society, it's showing off its best side.
Right.
So the idea that she comes to it and has this viewpoint of like, why are you doing this? This doesn't make any sense. She's totally justified in saying this looks all silly to me,
Right.
and confusing to me. It's not one of the best possible times to do that.
Yeah, and like everything about her is utilitarian. She's like, "This is the armor you wear?" They're like,
Yeah, how do you
Right,
expect
yeah.
to fight?
"How
with
can
something
you
like
fight
that?
in this stuff?" Yeah.
Somebody mentions, that we're gonna get the vote next year. We hope. You know,
Yeah.
like they really keep letting you know, like this was 100 years ago, but 100 years ago wasn't that long ago. And,
Right.
Like shit's still not good, even on the good side. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. I think you need to have all those. Yeah, I guess mediocre because they're kind of cliche. You need to see her not fitting in. You need to see her be a rebel because everybody needs to identify her in the audience. Every little girl needs to be the person who's badass. And guess what? You're not going to get that from a hero that just follows the flow, does what everybody else does. It's not going to work. You need to show her as a rebel. Needs to be the new.
And I've
Princess
never,
Leia.
I've never known
She
her
can
origin.
she can be
Me
a
neither.
she can be a rebel.
It's not like Superman or Batman or
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Right. Well, she was.
Her actual origin
When we get into spoilers,
story is what she said. My mom sculpted me from sand, and Zeus brought me to life.
Clay.
Right.
Clay. Get it
Clay.
right.
Right.
Okay.
Clay.
Yeah.
Cats don't poop in clay. I don't
It's not the Sandman. This ain't Spider-Man.
Right.
That's Marvel. I thought you had to show the cliche parts of her growing up. You got to get it done.
It's cliche for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason
Yeah.
things are cliche.
Yeah, and I
Because
know
they're
a good
true.
storyteller always says, "Show, don't tell." Show, don't tell. If you got to tell,
'Cause
then
if
you're
you
into
were
that
to-
overly exposition.
if you were to
and then
skip-
somebody says, "Wait a
yeah.
minute, are you talking about the weapon that was made entirely to destroy gods, and that was only made one time, and it has only one vulnerability?" And
Yeah. If you were to-
that's what I'm talking about.
If you were to
okay,
skip-
I didn't know.
If you were to skip
Like-
what the cliche scenes, you'd have to have a scene where she said, "When I was a child growing up on the island."
Yeah, I mean,
You'd have to do
you
that,
could-
and it'd be
you-
kind of like you did, like
And
it's
you-
not
you
accepted
can-
yet
you can-
flashback.
no one would buy that.
You
in the
can
audience.
you can slip in that kind of exposition.
It's hard.
If you're
man. That's hard. How many
Hey,
origin
hey,
stories we've seen in both
I mean,
franchises?
yeah,
It's hard.
It
Slipping it
also
in.
one thing. Another thing I'll say is that I kind of realized that these like super warrior societies. Maybe I'm a bit jaded because I've read a lot of fantasy, but they're hard to make work. The sort of like the Amazon warriors are
Because
sort of
people
like the
should be getting the
prototype.
shit beat out of them left and right, not just I tapped you with the sword on your
Well,
back instead of slicing it. Yeah,
They were inherently peaceful people.
Yeah.
But they all seem to have the same goal in mind. It's like we don't fight with each other. That's silly.
Yeah.
We're
We
just constantly preparing
we
for
train,
when we get invaded.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not if, when.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they'd been invaded before.
Yeah.
Right.
Depression. Yeah.
Right. So they all have a common goal. They're all banded together. They're not really going to fight with each other. They're going to train like hell with each other, but they're not really going to have disagreements because they always have that looming danger that's bound to come any day now. You know what? I'm not going to pick a fight with you over who got the last brownie. Okay, listen. I'm a little pissed you took it, but you know what? Danger's coming. We need to train.
There was a line though that made me
I'll get
wonder
the next
how
brownie.
big the island was because she called one of them senator.
Yeah, I know.
Oh wait, yeah.
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
whoa,
like,
is
wait,
this
wait,
thing,
wait.
like,
There's
huge?
there's a Senate.
There's a senate,
Yeah,
so there's different pockets with
I
representation.
instantly
yeah.
jumped back to Phantom Menace. I was like, oh god, no, don't do it like
No,
C-SPAN. No, I don't want to see a C-SPAN meeting about the Galactic Senate of the Amazonians. I don't need that. But thankfully, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
No.
So fear not, that didn't happen. We didn't get any Amazonian C-SPAN.
No, it was a good solid movie.
It was.
It really
it
was.
was.
And you know what? I was really looking for plot holes. I don't know if I was the only one here. Maybe
No, I was
after the
definitely
last
the
few
second
DC
time.
movies, I was
God, yeah,
searching
yeah.
for plot holes. You know, I didn't find that many. I
there
found a
is-
couple of little ones, but I didn't find that many.
There is one major one.
Well,
We'll bring
major.
that up in spoilers.
Okay, we'll do that in spoilers.
We'll do
The
that in
only
spoilers.
thing that I always wonder, like, where does she put the sword and the shield? She doesn't have them on there, and then suddenly, bam! There's
Yeah, the shield had me going.
Well, no, she had
she's got
the-
the sword behind her back.
Yeah, she had the sword.
Sword stuffed in the back of her dress.
Yeah.
And
that
that was
shield was
back there
nowhere.
too.
Yeah,
There was a
there was
collusion.
yeah,
Like,
there was
this is the
a little bit of just like yeah, she has a shield suddenly. Now she doesn't. Now she does. Now she does.
Yeah.
And I realized that they're going to do that, or like the cloak that she's wearing.
Yeah.
I'll bet in the woods she's going to end up wearing that somewhere else. Because
and
somehow
I love that cloak.
Oh, with the shield and sword under the cloak.
And so, like,
on her
yeah.
butt,
and
because
the
there's
scene-
nowhere else
Yeah.
That's what I figured, because she's not that big.
No.
Where are you going to hide that shield?
The scenes when she's fighting against the Germans, I would just love to have seen just comedically what the Germans were saying when she popped up in the battlefield. Like, oh, there is this woman. She is ridiculous. It is a trap. Let us shoot her.
Okay, here's one thing I noticed. Maybe it's a little nitpicky, but here's one thing. She can speak like, what, 300 languages? Yeah. 500.
Actually, all of
Thank
them.
you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Essentially, every language, going back to
The beginning of time,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Every language, right? Every language, therefore, exists. So, like French, Indian...
And languages evolve.
Italian. We went through all of them, except for one. We missed one really important one. You know what language doesn't exist during World War I? German. Does the German
All we have
language
is
does not-
English spoken in a German
Right,
accent.
all we have is Captain Kirk giving us a bad German accent. And that's all it was.
And there wasn't
Chris Pine's bad accent.
even that much
No.
German. You could have Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah.
Just have subtitles.
Yeah.
They had subtitles for the Italian, for the French, for the Greek. Right?
Yeah.
Just not German. There was no German. Even
Maybe that was
spoken by
another fuck you to the Germans.
I guess so, but I'm like, even spoken
Eat a
by the
dick,
Germans, there was no German. Like when they were together, alone.
Yeah.
You know?
That's another fuck you to
You
the
know, like when
Germans.
Batman's alone, does he really talk like this all the time when he's just alone?
Yes, he does.
I hope
Totally
that he
he does.
practices. I
When he
hope he
says-
sits in the bathroom and looks in the mirror and practices as he's putting the black around his eyes before he puts the mask on.
So that's what
And
it
of
feels
course the
like.
eyeliner.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, the new Batman has a voice changer, so he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I know, but
It's a Huckleberry
Oh,
Pufflepuff
that's right.
or some shit
yeah,
like
but
that.
there's a line in Dark Knight Rises. So that's what
Philly
that feels
Buster
like. He's all alone on that rooftop. Anne Hathaway scampered away. So that's what that feels like. Why are you even bothering Bruce? Just clear your throat, man. Just nobody's around, man. Right?
Well,
Just feel like,
that's,
wow,
a,
so
that's
what
a
that's
different.
like.
That's a different universe.
Yeah, I know.
Way off target.
Yeah,
That's
way
a-
off
that's
target.
a confusing
But
Nolan
that was
universe.
one weird thing. The German language didn't exist at all.
I mean, like,
It was
that's
just
a
kinda weird.
common trope
Well,
in
you know what?
American
That's
movies.
kind of a give me
Yes,
because
I know, but it's also common when they have an Italian on the screen and they just
when
don't
they
wanna
were
use-
know, I
when they
know.
were
Just have an
alone,
Italian
it
accent.
should have been in
It
German.
was just
yeah,
weird.
but
It was just weird. If they did subtitles, I wouldn't have minded because they did it when she was talking.
I agree.
To
but that
one
was to
of-
prove a point.
to when she was talking to the other Sammy, thank you. And he's Greek, Italian, French, subtitles, but not with the Germans.
Chinese was in there.
Right, there's Mandarin, I can't think of one of them.
Yeah. Well, it's accessibility.
Kind of weird. I guess they just didn't want to do more
It's
subtitles.
accessibility, and
I just figured, you know what? We don't want to do too much subtitles for the audience.
well, okay, it's accessibility. And think about this. Think about it this way: if this movie tanked, that'd kind of almost be the end of the
I think it's-
DCU.
I think it's
even
all
though
the-
Justice League is
I
coming
think
out
it's
later
all
this
the
year.
English actors they hired to play the
I
German.
think
That too,
And
yeah.
none of
yeah.
them spoke German, and they're
Yeah.
like, "How long is it going to take us to train 25 guys to speak German?
Yeah.
to say all these lines perfectly." And maybe Chris Pine just can't do the.
And I like that they didn't do the overly asshole-ish, oh, there's a girl talking thing. What do you mean? This it fit the times. Like,
Yeah,
why is
I'm-
this woman in here talking? It wasn't just get her out. when she had something to say that was useful.
You're saying that when they did do that, it was fitting when they did that.
It was fitting for the time period. Yeah.
It wasn't
Meaning
over
like,
the top, though.
yeah,
It wasn't
like,
what's this? Woman here? Huff, 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 huff. My monocle's falling out.
Yeah. It wasn't. It
They
wasn't.
pretty much
this
did that,
woman
but they
can't
just
contribute
didn't
anything.
say.
Yeah.
It was underplayed, though. It was more
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah.
It wasn't way over
I'll
the top.
give
It
you
wasn't
that.
as overdramatic as it
Yeah.
Yes,
portrayed.
I will give you that. They didn't want to seem like they were making a point, even though they were making a very blunt point.
Yeah.
They didn't want to seem like they were making a point. So I'll give them that. They handle
Yeah.
it classier than most other productions have. I'll give
Yeah.
you that. That's
And
fair.
I did like the whole.
I agree with you.
I did like the
I'm
whole
not saying
stay
like
here.
it's unfair to
Wait
say
here,
that.
and just
I'm
walk
saying
out.
by saying I think it's
Okay.
fair is I agree with you.
And
I think that's true.
I sort of just said this out loud, and Niki kind of agreed with me. There's a scene when Wonder Woman, she's about to go to battle. She has a hairpin. She takes off her hairpin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait.
Don't want to tie your hair
play
back.
sport.
Yeah. And like, I get that it's because she wants to put on the battle tiara that
Yeah,
her
the
aunt
battle
wore.
tiara.
Right.
I
Yeah.
get it. but still, like, no, if you're going into battle, you want your hair out of your face, which they did such a good job on Themyscira of showing that all of the Amazons have their hair back in those intricate braids.
Well, pretty much.
Hippolyta didn't.
Right.
Yeah, but she's never fighting.
Yeah,
That's
she's
right,
never
she's
fighting.
not.
She's only
queenie.
fighting in the scene on the beach.
That
She's
is
the queen
true.
who just rides around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all of the ones who you see fighting, training on the beach, they all have their hair back in
That's-
these intricate tight braids.
That's Wonder Woman's real secret power.
Is being able to fight with hair in her
With
face.
their hair down, because I sweat like a mongrel dog.
She's got super.
I sweat
Not
worse
only-
than Whitney
not
Houston
only
and Nixon
is her
combined.
superpower to fight with her hair down, her
that's
superpower is
not
that
a-
her hair and her makeup stay.
Well,
Yeah.
and she wasn't wearing that much makeup.
Yeah, but you know
which I
what?
liked.
And-
It looks
and
very
also-
natural.
Except in
But-
one of the last climactic moments, and I won't say what it is because
Yeah.
we're still in the non-spoiler part. There's a close-up on when she closes her eyes, and it's like, oh, it's really pretty eyeshadow.
Right.
Because it's just like, oh look, that's like everyday gold eyeshadow. Look how pretty. Oh wait, back to the movie. It was just a weird focus on her makeup.
She does have super eyeshadow and super leave-in conditioner.
And super eyeliner too.
No,
Well,
yeah,
she
the
has- and
eyeliner.
she has
I
the-
know.
Eyeliner, yes.
Well, her eyeliner matched Chris Pine's because it never
Well,
went
apparently,
away.
Wonder Woman does not sweat. She has no sweat glands because
No.
nothing ran.
Nope.
So obviously,
Well, she's
we-
not human.
we'll find
so
out
she doesn't
as-
have to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah, we'll
That's
find out
true.
in spoilers why that is.
Well, but it's clear even from the beginning that the Amazons aren't quite human either.
yeah,
No, they're
Because
yeah,
it's
they're not.
1918
Yeah.
in the world which they live in,
Yeah.
and yet Hippolyta is telling her daughter that Hippolyta
Hippolyta's been around since the beginning of time.
exactly,
Yeah.
which means that the Amazons
god.
aren't human. They don't
Yeah.
age.
Or
Well-
they're
well, they
blessed
get-
by the gods.
Well, they get. Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
They get to her age, like mid-20s,
And then they stop.
Just
Yeah,
stop
except for her mother. And
I was gonna say I
Except
love
for-
Robin Wright.
except for
not
like-
in her mid.
Right, there was a handful of women on that
Yeah.
island that
Yeah.
were not 20-something.
And all the women on the island
40
looked
and
like they
50-something.
were actually Amazons. That was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like supermodels. You were like,
Well, there were some models.
There were
there were some, but
supermodels.
they looked like they
But
could
yeah,
throw
they
down.
were
They're-
tall,
they were really
they
tall,
broad
and they could
shouldered,
carry
they
to
were
that.
muscular. Those were athletic-looking women.
Yeah, no, and that helped.
That one,
That definitely helped too.
that one black chick was fucking gnarly. She was
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she was
Yeah.
awesome.
great. This is my podium. Come on.
Yeah. I guess we should move into spoiler
You want to
territory.
move into spoilers, Guy? What do you say? What say you?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Moving
Okay,
to
so
spoilers.
moving into spoilers.
So what happens? Let's just go in there. So Chris
it-
Pine crashes
Crashes on the
lands
island, yeah.
on the island. She saves him from drowning because he crashes in a plane. He's a spy that went behind enemy lines in Germany to go sniff out information about new super weapons that are going to come and try to save Germany from losing the war. Sounds a lot like Captain America, but we'll keep moving past that.
It's the only way you could have the
I
story
know.
flow in the movie.
No, I know.
yeah,
And then a
yeah.
hero comes along with a shield, but we'll keep moving past that.
But the shield isn't
couple
integral.
Okay, yeah.
I do like that her only actual weapon in the finale is the bracers.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was kind
That
of
is
cool.
pretty cool.
At
No
least
sword,
the bad
no
guy
shield,
never
no
shot a giant beam into the sky. Okay, let's believe that never happened.
Yeah, there've
Well,
been what, like
well,
5 movies with that?
No,
Oh, at least.
no, there was just.
No, he pulled down power from the sky.
No,
though.
you're
did?
right.
Oh.
No, you're right. In movie Captain America, there was this giant airplane filled with bombs. In this movie, there
Yeah,
was
that
a.
was my main thing.
Oh wait, a giant airplane filled with
But
bombs.
Wasn't that what they
That was-
did
that was a
during
tribute.
World War One? Isn't that how they fought
Yeah.
the war?
Let's get back
Blimps.
to that. Let's get back to
Yeah.
let's get back to that. So Captain Kirk shows
Anyway,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Kirk shows up minus an away team.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a spy. He's being chased by the Germans out of Germany. He's got
Diana,
He's got the diary of secrets.
Still hot as shit.
Exactly. He is.
Diana, the young,
He's
naive, idealistic Amazon, hears about this terrible war.
There's war.
Decides that it is her mission as an Amazon to go back to the war with him
Sorry, I keep
to fight Ares.
Wind's not being a friend tonight.
Her mother has told her that
Yeah.
all war is
and
because
she's. I like the nice touch of her actually crying while he's describing the war,
yeah,
because he has to say it completely truthfully because
Right.
it's under the
lasso.
lasso of truth.
The
which
lasso
was-
of truth
which was-
finally actually gets used.
which
for
was
truth.
which was really great because he's like, I'm a spy. I'm a spy.
Something he would never say.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who I am. I can't tell you why I'm wearing this uniform. Get him in the last show. I'm a spy.
What the hell is this
undercover.
thing?
My name is so-and-so.
Yeah.
No, he did ask questions, but he didn't quite ask enough questions.
Yeah, not nearly enough.
Where are there any men around here?
He didn't care. He was focused on his mission, which was this horrible
nail her?
thing. That
And if you're surrounded by a bunch of beautiful women, are you really going to ask where are the other men? Is that really
Actually, that might be the first question you ask. What happened to all the other men? That would be that's how I would phrase that.
You're a lot more logical
Maybe you're
than I am.
special because you're dinner. I don't know. You don't know.
See, I would have picked up exactly the way he did with the daughter of the queen saved me. I'm safe.
Right, yeah.
I'm safe. I'm good. Don't fucking kill me.
Well, his whole motivation is he wants to help save lives. He knows by getting this information about the new super weapons that are coming out, he will end up saving lives.
And he kind of literally doesn't care.
Right.
After
Her
everything that he's
motivation
seen,
the
he
whole
doesn't
time
care.
is to follow, because there's always the stories prophesize. There's always that in all these movies. So the story prophesies that Ares, God of War, would come back and bring an untold war and essentially end humanity and the world.
Yeah.
Because he tried to do that once and it didn't go well.
And somehow Ares is the only surviving god.
Yeah, Zeus,
Zeus also survived.
No, he died.
he
With his dying breath, he brought...
Oh,
Zeus
right.
died.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought I was
Fighting
up on
Ares.
my Greek mythology.
Well, it's not.
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
not strictly speaking.
It's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But Zeus dies
like-
fighting Ares after all the other gods are essentially dead.
I
And what he says with his last breath, he gives
So
the
he's
one weapon
Beelzebub.
to the earth
I
that could
get it.
stop Ares.
Satan.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would seem like if Zeus had the ability to kill Ares with the one weapon that he had at his disposal, he would have just done it rather than dying and then on his deathbed just make sure that the one weapon that could kill Ares would get away.
And we all know it wasn't the sword. We all
And we
Yes,
all
but
knew it was
movie,
her.
yeah.
It wasn't the sword, it's her. And that's how she has no real dad. Well, Zeus.
I
But,
don't have a real dad. No.
Yeah.
She does call Ares brother.
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
Well, because
She
they
does.
are.
Because Zeus is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but turns out Ares has come about, and he has been causing the new world of war that will end humanity, or is led to believe.
So how
is
long
going
did it
to.
take you to peg who Ares actually was?
I
had
was
it.
actually off track.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
I had it pegged
okay, here-
on the female.
I did too. I had
I
it
never
pegged
thought
on
that.
Dr.
I thought,
Moreau.
yeah, that's her.
Here's the thing about
I knew it wasn't
Ares.
Danny Houston, but
I
No,
did
I
too.
knew that.
I knew it
Knew
wasn't.
it wasn't him. Because I kept saying,
I
"Oh,
think
it's
it-
him! Oh, it's him!" It can't happen.
I think it was, they had a really tough job to cast Ares with what they were going for because they needed an upper class British guy, or drink my tea, to also be credible as the god of war. And it wasn't by no means a bad performance, but when he was talking about revealed himself as Ares, he kind of worked as this devil Mephistopheles kind of character. That was credible enough, but once he's like full on Ares destruction, I'm like, no. All I believe is that you'd be berating Mr. Banks for causing a run on the bank. That is all you're credible at doing.
Are you caught up with Fargo?
Oh, is he on Fargo? Shit.
Yeah, he's on
I
this
should probably
season.
watch
See,
that.
if you're caught up on
As
Fargo,
the
that might
major
change.
bad guy.
That might change your mind. He's pretty evil.
Yeah, I mean, I can see him being an
Well,
evil
like
villain, but not.
But like this big-
not
I'm
war.
just like, it's
he
Lupin.
he
It's
he
Lupin from
not-
Harry
I
Potter.
know.
Is he,
That's kind of a stretch.
is he a warlike villain in Fargo?
He's more of a pull the strings kind of guy.
Exactly.
Which is what
that
Ares is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
But they
well, I mean, like, that is
needed
not-
a superhero
I mean,
showdown.
like that is not traditionally what Ares is.
No,
but-
that's exactly what Ares is. He kind of stands around and people kill themselves.
the god
and he
of
draws
No,
the power.
no.
Yeah.
the ultimate
Ares
warrior.
traditionally is the guy who grabs a sword, goes gah, and goes killing everyone,
He's
no matter
both,
who.
but yeah.
Yeah, but he figured out
Well, I
a
guess-
smarter
He
way.
figured out
Well,
an
the thing
easier
about
way,
men
yeah.
is that they're easily corruptible, so he didn't
Right.
have to play any.
Yeah.
Right.
He figured out a
What?
smarter
What are you
way.
talking
It's
about?
kind of what you guys are a little
It
bit
works.
different
I'm
in
talking
the
about
fight.
what they
Yeah.
said in the movie.
If you
Yeah.
look
I'm not
at
saying I agree with it.
essentially, they're saying that he kind of started World War I in an effort to bring about the end of humanity.
Yeah.
So he
So-
didn't have to be all big on tough.
No, he didn't have
Right.
to.
And
he
that
didn't
would
have
have
to
given it
actually
away.
fight, yeah.
Exactly.
Like my first inkling was when
And everybody would
the
know.
secretary answered the phone, and that office scene where
Oh, yeah.
he was in. For some reason, like when he turned to like listen to her on the phone, I went, "Oh, wait."
Yeah,
a
that's
minute,
when I tagged it too. I was like,
Something's
that's Ares.
He's got to be. He's a spy too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
she was a spy too. I thought the secretary
See,
was a spy.
I
was
thought-
going to
yeah.
double cross somebody.
Well, I didn't think hers. I thought him was a spy.
Yeah.
I thought he was a German spy at first. I was like,
And he
okay,
was a spy,
I
just
see
like-
what's going on.
just a spy. Yeah.
He's one of the best double agents the German army ever had. Like, that makes sense. Because I figured the female doctor with the thing on her face,
Yeah.
that's Ares.
I never.
She's
thought
making the
That's what I
weapons.
thought.
That's
Yeah.
how
That's
it's.
too obvious. That's
Yeah, but
way
that's
too
what I
Yeah,
figured. Because,
yeah.
well, they were posted up. What's his name, Ludendorff or whatever. They kept saying, "Oh, he's him. He's it." So as a result, okay, we're meant to think that's Ares, but really it's been her the whole time, and she'll end up killing him with one of her weapons when it's like the plan is about to fall
Well,
apart.
see, the reason
And
it
her
Ares
wasn't
is a man.
the reason it wasn't
no,
the
I was
reason it
for
wasn't
her.
her was because when she lost her notebook, she became like instantly powerless.
Yeah, she seemed.
Like, I need my
Yeah,
notebook. I
that's
need
true.
my notebook back. And I was like, if you're
Kinda
the
like Batman.
god of war,
Yeah.
you'll
Martha.
be fine. Yeah.
Batman's only powerful. because
One
of his
word for
toys.
making Batman powerless, Martha. All you gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept on thinking of the line from Last Crusade. With,
We named the dog
Indiana
Indiana.
Jones with the Sean Connery's notebook.
Oh, yeah.
What if I wrote it down? I wouldn't have to memorize it.
I don't know. Brought it back to Britain. Should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers.
Back on target.
Yeah, Stan Target. You can blame Steven for that one. He brought up Connery in Last Crusade. I can't be held accountable for that. All right, so Ares' motivation, our real main villain, because again, all these movies can fall apart really quickly if the villain doesn't have a good motivation. If you can't figure out the villain,
But
the
I
movie
thought he had
sucks.
a decent motivation.
This actually works
His
pretty well.
motivation is he doesn't think humans are deserving of anything.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because they're
They
stupid.
ruined the beautiful paradise
Yes,
we
we are.
created for them.
Right,
Yeah.
and so we should just completely get rid of them,
Yep.
and the gods, which at this point is just him and Diana,
Yeah.
should have the earth to themselves.
Yeah.
And his one best way of doing that is make us kill
Make
each other
make
off.
yeah, make us
destroy
kill each
ourselves.
other off.
Seems pretty efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to really lift a
Whisper
finger.
in humans' ears so that
Exactly.
they come up with
And
the
he's
best
arguing
ways to
for the
kill each
peace
other.
treaty that he knows like humanity can't maintain.
Exactly.
He's
Exactly.
arguing for
question,
the
though.
So,
yeah.
So you know what? He's not wrong. It's actually a good plan.
Yeah, it's an
And
excellent plan. Yeah.
It now at the end of the day, this is still a I want to take over the world villain plan.
I want to destroy the world, not take it over.
No, he wants to take it over. We
doesn't
should get
wanna-
rid of these humans.
He
and
doesn't
then
want
I
to
will
control.
have the.
But yeah, taking over for me means more like controlling everybody that's there. He just wants to get rid of everybody. He wants to reset the world.
That's half of those villains' plans in these other movies. So just get everybody. You know.
I want to know what your question is.
Yeah, what's your question?
Go.
You know what? I actually answered it myself in my mind.
Okay.
I was, okay, it was
All right,
the
you gotta share with the group.
Yeah.
I was confused by the magical things that's like the magical angel dust that
Yeah.
Danny Houston did to make him instantly
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
That didn't seem like something you could just create. It seemed
That
like
seemed weird.
I thought
Yeah.
that was like a gift from Ares.
That was probably
Yeah,
just
pretty
a,
much.
Well, it was,
very
it was a
magical-
gas that she.
it was a
Yeah,
gas.
but it wasn't magical as in it came from the gods. It was something she concocted.
Yeah, just like everything
so
else.
essentially,
Yeah.
it was
I mean,
meth.
Yeah, that's what I realized.
It
in my-
was. I mean, it was Captain America's serum that you can huff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
almost say it was Ares whispering in her ear to create a decoy in case the
But
God
that's
Killer
exactly
showed up.
what they showed at the end.
Yeah, and
Was him walking past her like in
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
In-
fade, like
in
faded out,
transparency.
and whispering something and her grabbing that bottle and
Yeah, writing down a
and that's
formula.
Ares setting up the
Yeah.
pawns and decoys so he can go with his plan of creating an.
well, I think
a
that
peace
only
people
helps
can't
his
maintain,
plan
yeah.
because he knows Ludendorff. He
Yeah.
does not want to be part of the armistice.
Yeah.
And wants to keep fighting.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, we got to keep this
Maintaining
guy
the
alive.
war, yeah.
We got to keep this guy alive. They may try to execute this motherfucker out of the German army. You know what? They may, for the sake of peace, they may kill this guy. You know what? Let me whisper into what's her name's, back of the
Yeah,
mind.
make him harder to
Make
kill,
him
yeah.
hard to kill, but make it temporary.
Yeah.
So make him really strong, but not strong enough where I can't bump him off when the time is right. But I need to keep him around so we can keep the war going.
Yeah.
That it's kind of a stretch. I can see it, It's kind of a stretch. But
there is fill-in, but it works in the context
could,
of the movie.
Yeah, I could convince myself that that's
Yeah.
true. It wasn't set up perfectly like that, but I could see that.
Yeah. Well, it was. There's so much like setup and calling back to things
there's
like
a few
in this movie that I really like.
Yeah, there
It's
is.
done really well.
There's one every time they brought up the gas, the crazy souped-up cluster gas. Me and Rachel spotted something immediately, and we're like, thumbs down.
Yeah.
What was
right
that?
away, we're like, oh fuck that, that's bullshit. For like only one big thing really got us like, you got to be shitting me, that's bullshit.
What was
Rachel,
Okay,
Go right
so they set off this gas to go kill the villagers.
Remember that?
She runs after it on the horse,
On the
and
horse.
he's running after her
he's on the motorcycle.
on the little motorbike.
Right.
The fact that she's unaffected by it while wandering through the village
She's part god.
is fine. She's part god. Like,
No, she is a god. Yeah.
She is.
okay, she is a god,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's understandable.
She's a demigod.
He walks
At
up
least.
to like a foot away from where the gas
Coughs.
is, coughs once, and is fine.
So he clearly got it in him. Cough.
Like, what kind of gas has that is containable that way?
Yeah, yeah.
I
That
don't know.
doesn't make sense.
The kind of
And
shit that
then-
melts.
And then
gas
that was the
masks.
other question I had: is we
melts,
see the
cracks
gas
glass. Yeah.
melt a gas mask,
metal and rubber and plastic and glass.
but then she sees these bodies just lying dead on the ground. Why
Fine.
haven't the human bodies melted?
Nothing's melted. Nothing. They're just on the floor. They're on the ground.
Why
That's
on
the way.
earth would it be able to melt inorganic material but not melt organic material? That doesn't
Every
make any
fence
sense.
post was unaffected.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Every pane of glass, the same glass that's in the goggles.
That
and
cracks
all of
when the
that.
gas goes off.
Or
Yeah,
the glass
yeah.
that was in the
Yeah.
room that all the germs were trapped in, that was
Or
cracking.
the glass
Also.
that the gas mask was under when she used it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Was not
To
affected
contain it.
somehow.
There was a lot of
Even though we saw the
inconsistency
glass-
about
You know
how
what?
that
The
gas
glass just broke. It didn't melt.
No, but it was
Cracked,
shattering.
yeah, it kept
true, but it was from.
And the glass on the walls was shattered,
Yeah.
and the thing that she
Right.
had it in.
Yeah.
This
didn't.
this gas
It was
is like
Pyrex.
acidic. It was,
That's why you can't break Pyrex.
Well, it might have been plastic.
It was
know.
Pyrex.
They don't
goddamn
have
it.
that much plastic 100 years ago. 1918.
Drop a Pyrex.
They were making
measuring
radios
cup.
out of Bakelite.
Keep it forever.
So yeah, I just felt like there was a lot of inconsistency in how this.
Well, the weapon was kind of
Terrible
inconsistent.
gas worked.
When they wanted it
And
to be
so
fatal, it was
also-
fatal. When it was kind of like, oh, we don't want to get too close.
Also, like, okay,
And then it
so the
wasn't
great
fatal.
way that Steve is going to sacrifice himself and save people is he's going to go up in the plane filled with canisters of this gas and then blow the plane up. How is the gas
like
not then
10,000
going to...
feet up.
Well, no, they made a point of saying it's hydrogen based, so it'll explode. It's susceptible to fire.
Right, so they could have blown it up
Right,
anyway.
so it'll explode and then won't dissipate
Right, so
into
they
the
could've-
air?
The gas itself is based on hydrogen,
Right,
so
right.
it explodes
You're
too.
right. They could have blown it up on the runway before it even took off.
Yeah,
You're right.
they
and
could
all
have.
of them could have lived.
But
Right.
you know why he did that? Why he had to sacrifice himself?
Because
for
he
that, right?
can't be
Because
in the
his
next
name is
movie.
Steve and he
No.
is a soldier.
He would have died by
so
now.
he had
No,
to
no.
sacrifice
Wait a
himself
minute. Go
down a
ahead.
plane.
The Dow.
That was my main problem.
No, wait a minute. There was a soldier named Steve in this movie too? Wait a
No, here's the thing.
I
That
was
bugged me
sort
too.
of thinking to myself,
Yeah.
He had to
Like,
sacrifice
done it?
himself. Okay, wait, here we go.
Soldier
He had to
named Steve
sacrifice
sacrificed
himself
on the plane.
because he stopped her from killing Ludendorff
But
at
he-
the gala, which would have saved the village.
He didn't stop her from killing Lindorf in the end. She still killed him.
No,
Yeah,
he,
but
he
he
stopped
stopped him
her.
at the
He
time.
stopped her from like
He stopped
causing
her.
a-
Oh, I see
He
what you're
stopped.
saying.
He stopped
Yeah.
her from stopping the
gas.
test of
If
the
she
gas.
killed him then.
Yeah, she just wanted to
The
kill him and
village
figured,
would be-
It's
okay,
his.
that's the end
It's
of it. He
it's
knew.
his fault that everybody in that village died. Basically.
Okay,
So
but
he has
still,
to stop the gas
we
any way he
have
can.
a
Yeah.
superhero movie
Yeah.
that takes place during a world war.
Oh, yeah,
where
there's-
our
yeah.
character named Steve saves the day by getting in a plane that he knows is a suicide mission
Yes.
to go blow up a massive super weapon away from people.
Yes. All of that's true.
Like,
No,
I'm
except
sorry.
all of
It
that's
is.
all
Lows
It
are
is.
in the sky, not crashing on the ground. So there it's different.
Big
So-
difference. So that's DC versus Marvel right there.
Christianity.
we don't crash planes in
No,
DC.
it is-
That's a
No,
Marvel
no,
thing.
we
It is.
blow them up.
We
in
blow
the
them
air.
up.
Exactly.
But I will
The
say,
plane
I
was
will
crashed.
say this.
So
The plane that he was
different.
on
So
Exactly.
I will say this for the difference in those two movies. When you watch Captain America a second time, you're like,
You're talking about yourself.
I don't see why you did what you did.
You're talking about yourself.
You never made a point to say that you couldn't control the plane. You could have crashed it somewhere else. why couldn't people keep track of stuff? Why couldn't you jump out? You're kind of indestructible, as it has been shown in the other movies. This one, Wonder Woman comes out better for Steve in the plane.
They wanted to show
himself.
that Steve Rogers would give his own life for his country. They can't do that if he's keeping making an escape plan to save his own ass. Because then you don't get like that moral code that he has. If he's constantly saving his own ass and then also happens to save the day.
Steve Rogers
He's got
have to die in this movie, though.
You mean Steve Trevor?
Steve Trevor.
So,
I know,
wait,
it's easy to get
No, I know. They're both characters named Steve who have first names as their last name. I know.
Captain America die?
No, of course not.
Well,
they
then
thought
it
he did.
matter.
He would have.
He thought he was going to die. He
though.
said goodbye to his beloved.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked
Is
though
it,
if
I'm
he
not
lived.
gonna make
If
that-
he lived.
I'm not going to make that date.
That dance.
Yeah.
Save me that dance. Yeah.
Right. Well, they only met for a little bit, and then they were separated forever, essentially. You know, kind of like this movie.
The whole gas
they're not
thing just
separated
made me
'cause
think of World War II
they're-
and Zyklon B.
Oh, okay.
That's all I was all gas. Okay, yeah, I see where this is going. They're going to keep working on that
mustard
shit.
gas, the big killer on the western front, and the eastern front for that matter. The big killer, mustard gas. Machine guns didn't help, but mustard gas.
I kept expecting them to say it was Zyklon B, and I was kind of surprised they didn't. And I was like, wrong war.
Yeah, but then they would have melted all of their Auschwitz would have melted to the ground.
No, true. Yeah. But
Oh,
I
what
could
a better
see-
world we would have
I
yeah,
can
that-
see how that like her like the
To
notebook
try
is
that,
still
that for
around.
like
How
uncomfortable
somebody
imagery.
kept working
to
on her
have-
chemistry. Well,
Yeah.
she's still around.
She's still around. So for all intents
And also, can I
purposes-
say, try this for uncomfortable imagery of a scene involving Germans when a bunch of people dying and trying to break out of a door while the gas kills them.
Oh.
That
Yeah,
was like,
but in this movie they were bad guys.
It's really fuck the Germans. This
But
whole
it-
movie is
but
about
in-
fuck the Germans.
All these
Is the
movies
director
are.
Jewish? Just cause?
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, that was my dad that just came in right there.
What was her name? Patty
Jenkins.
Jennings, right?
Jenkins.
Jenkins.
I think it's Jenkins.
Yeah, you probably.
Well, also, just another little aside where it's sort of a similar thing in Boardwalk Empire where Richard Harrow has that.
Oh, yeah,
and I mean, like,
yeah.
it's like wow,
That's what they did.
You are much more scarier with the mask than you
Phantom
are
of the Opera.
without
That's
it.
all I can think of. It's
Yeah.
the bottom half of Phantom of the Opera.
Okay, so can we talk about her and that
Yeah.
reveal and like what we're supposed to think about her?
That was
Yeah.
Well, her
disappointing.
face was messed up slightly.
So-
That's what we're supposed to think.
I was expecting it to be more Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
opposed
I told
to
you.
the
I told you.
Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing
Agreed.
is, are we
Agreed.
supposed to think of this person who has a scar on half of her face that makes it look like a permanent smile, who develops gas that kills people in a
Scarecrow.
in a DC
Yeah.
universe?
Yeah.
And Wayne Enterprises brought that shit
Yeah.
to her. I see all of this
Yeah.
Batman
She's
shit
gonna
set up.
have a son, a grandson, and that grandson's gonna be a very interesting psychotherapist in Gotham City one day. He's
Right?
gonna make people face their own fears with an old trick his grandmother
Yeah,
taught him
yeah.
about gas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cillian Murphy. I was
Now-
like, oh, Scarecrow.
Why not?
Scarecrow.
Now, do you think that she should have killed her?
I think she should have.
And do you think she should have thrown the tank
But
at
no, I think
Ares
she should have. But
instead of just
I think she
decide?
should have.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it would poison the character for all of the movies that she's gonna be
Yeah.
a part
Yeah.
of in the future. Because
Yeah.
again, just like with Steve Rogers, why he had to think it's a suicide mission. He wasn't about saving his ass. He was about saving the free world.
Yeah.
She has to be able to say, I know I could probably save some people by killing you right now, but I don't know that to be true, so I'm going to let you live, because I know if I let you live,
And it,
There is
You know?
this
Well,
really
You've
let
learned
her-
your
it's
lesson.
let her live to see that you don't have to be this way.
yeah, something
Well,
like
the
that.
other thing that I
but you have
noticed.
humanity in
Well,
her.
yeah, but you have
Yeah.
to show that she's merciful. What
But
better
the other-
opportunity that
Yeah,
they'll leave
they're-
this like semi-evil bitch? Let her go.
Rachel.
So the other thing that I
That's her
noticed
name.
as I was watching is that, and unless I missed something, Diana never kills anyone unless they are actively trying to kill her. Shooting at her.
She just blocks the bullets.
Yeah, she just blocks bullets. She does not raise her sword to anyone who isn't like firing at her trying to kill her.
Right.
And that woman wasn't actively trying to kill
cried.
her in that moment.
She cried, and I
And
think
she
that
cried.
showed her humanity. I really
Yeah.
felt like Wonder Woman was like, I see
She's
the
like,
humanity
there
in
is
this,
good in you.
and
I
I don't
feel it.
need to kill like everybody. And she didn't throw the tank at Ares because it wouldn't have fucking mattered.
it wouldn't
have
done anything to him.
would
Yeah, but it
been-
would look so cool.
The dark side hasn't taken you over. Not
Yeah.
fully. There's
Yeah.
good in you still.
right?
I see it.
Right? And then she's all
Right.
creates the Joker later.
Well, there was force lightning. You can't tell
I
me
came
there
out of this
wasn't.
movie with three problems. One
Okay.
major, two minor.
One made.
Okay.
All right.
And the minor one was the most likely obvious sex scene.
Most likely obvious sex scene.
Yeah. After they do the dancing thing,
Yeah.
I was kind of like,
You mean the lead up to a sex scene?
I get the
Yeah, that's what
exploration.
it
I
was.
get the exploration. She doesn't care. Then her realizing her full power when Steve died, that kind of bugged me a little bit. Like that was like the impetus for it.
Yeah,
But my big,
it
my
is an origin story. The whole
I know.
story.
My big plot hole problem is okay. She's been doing this since 1917. There's an active superhero in the world that's never mentioned in any of the other movies.
Because she's not active.
Yeah.
No, but you saw her fly off the.
Yeah, you saw her
Yeah,
flash the
in
thing in Modern Times.
2017, after she's seen the picture.
Right.
So now she's active. After the events of Batman v Superman.
Yeah. Now.
But the
now
whole
it's
point,
no
no,
way
the whole
that
point
she's-
about her little monologue is that she has purposely been dormant.
But
for
she
100
said she
years.
decided
World
to
War
stay in
II,
hell.
Korean War, Vietnam
Because
War, really?
Yeah.
Well, it's just
she said she
no,
decided to help. She said, I decided to stay and help because these people aren't exactly what they are. They have the love and the
There's
hate
no
inside
way
of
she
them.
sat back during those wars and didn't do shit.
I think
There's
that's a line
no way.
in the movie in Batman v Superman or something.
I-
Where have you
it's
been
like-
all this time? Like, where you been?
Yeah, I think
like,
that
there's
she
some
hasn't
and then
done
she
much,
explains,
but she's
she's
been
like,
active.
I've been staying away on purpose
Yeah.
because if I get involved, others will get involved. I think she says something along those lines. Like, if I get involved, I promise you, it's not going to work out as good
Well,
as you
yeah,
think it's
I
going
think
to.
But
the
at the
other
same-
I think you
implication
think I'll
is
be
that-
saving the day, but in turn, I'll be attracting worse people than you can
I know,
handle.
but
Right,
okay.
because
At the
I
same
think
time,
the other
she's
implication
also
is that she hasn't killed Ares.
Okay.
And she knows that anytime she enters a war again,
Yeah.
so will he. Her energy in
Yeah.
a war will bring him out.
well,
Which
no,
is,
Ares-
going back to
in
what
this
Lex
movie, it
Luthor
seems
said,
that
the,
Ares
right,
is dead.
the bell has
I
been
don't
rung.
think so.
Okay. Well, here's the
I don't
thing
think
too.
he's dead.
They've heard us in the night. The bell has been rung. It's at the
She's
end of Batman v
also
Superman.
she's also said that she's killed things from other worlds before.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
She said that in Batman Superman. I've killed things from other worlds before.
Where was the thing from the other worlds?
Yeah,
There was no thing.
I,
No,
I
that was
just sort of
doomsday.
assume she's kind of
Yeah,
Yeah,
100,
that's between
there's
all
a
this.
100-year gap where she was busy
she's
doing
kind of
that,
been
and
working
it's-
behind the scenes.
She's
That's sort of
basically
my-
she's basically
no, she's
Thor.
definitely been behind the scenes. So the fact that in 100
Well, yeah, in a
years,
lot of
maybe
ways
she's
she's
killed
Thor.
someone.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
another world,
Or
that's
what?
possible.
Actually, she was first, so Thor was her. But I love how they in some of the fights they threw in that little Thor smirk. Like I'm enjoying this fight.
Yeah.
I really like that.
They didn't throw it in as much as this as they did in Batman v Superman. It was like blatantly obvious.
Well, yeah, that's 100 years later. This is their origin story.
yeah, no, she wasn't
Yeah.
smirking so much.
Yeah, well, she smirked in Batman v Superman. 'cause she's
Well,
like,
that was
I'm
100
gonna-
years later. She's like, I've been through this shit before.
And like retroactively,
I fought
we
Ares,
understood
this
that
guy's
because
got
she's
nothing.
like, I'm the last god or I'm one of two gods. I'm not gonna lose this fight.
true.
I'm not gonna fucking lose this fight. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna have
All
fun.
the other gods are dead.
It was almost the equivalent of the Ragnarok trailer. Yes, he's a friend from work. This is gonna be great. And you fucking lucky bastard for your birthday getting that,
I'm getting Hulk for my birthday, buddy.
dude. I get Black Panther for mine.
I know.
What opens next Friday?
The Mummy.
Anything?
Yeah.
Nothing?
No, I
Yeah,
mean, we
I'm
got. We
down
got
for that.
It's my birthday. That's right. I open next.
well, the next one coming up, I think, is Spider-Man Homecoming, I think. There's not the next one coming up?
Well, superhero, yeah, but movies, Mummy.
Movies, there's
yeah,
no movies.
Yeah.
I think the next superhero movie. On the superhero calendar, I think it's the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, she defeats Ares.
Yeah.
Say she kills Ares?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think they want to keep him around. just so that in this now expanded DC
I think they left
universe,
it-
They kept
we
calling
can bring
her a
it back.
god killer. She's
I
not
know.
a
Well,
god.
they, you know what they did?
No,
They
I
did
know,
that.
I
They
know.
did the subtle trick
He's
that.
not the god really, really, really badly beaten up, but eventually he'll recover.
I got
Yes.
you.
No, they did.
I
They
gotcha,
did the
but-
classic comic book movie thing. You don't see Ares' dead
Exactly.
body. You just see a big hole where
Yeah.
he was, and she said
Exactly.
goodbye,
That's true.
brother,
Plus,
which
You
I
leave
like.
Michael Myers dead in the room. He always
I like
gets
that
up
she
and
said.
walks away.
Obviously.
He's quote unquote
Obviously.
I really like
dead.
that
He's never
she.
dead.
Yeah.
I
Who
really
is
like
Michael
that she
Myers
realized her
fighting, like, all
power.
the time? Like, who is his nemesis?
Family members.
I'm sorry?
Family members.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Human
'cause he
beings
pauses,
that are
yeah.
not as nuts as
This
him.
is why Stu
Right.
from Scream is going to come back at the very, very end and be the killer because they left him in the other room with the TV on his
Right,
face.
but
he got up and walked away.
right, but in horror movies, it's always a crazy guy versus
Stu.
normal people, essentially.
Okay, we're
Thrown into that extraordinary situation.
But this is a god
now,
versus a god.
Just like they always do it, and they have to in every single Superman movie. He's Superman. He has all these powers. He's indestructible. He's the Man of Steel. Blah blah blah. Sooner or later, you got to put him up against somebody that could
Right.
kick his ass,
Like-
and could kill him.
I kept
now,
thinking
if
that
there's
Ares
only
never
one person that
had
could
this.
actually kill Diana Prince, who is it? Well, if she's the god killer, it can't be Ares. So who could kill her?
As Ares says when he reveals that she's the god killer, he says only a god can kill another god.
Right.
Yeah.
So why
They
would you
can kill
get
each other because Zeus killed him.
right? But if you get rid of Ares, then it's going to be really boring fights with Wonder Woman going
Yeah.
going forward.
Because that means
no,
Now
you could-
it's
one
going to
can
be the
never
most
defeat.
boring movies.
Well,
with her
okay, here's
because
the
I know
thing.
she
Okay.
can't get a scratch on her. It's pointless.
In the DC universe,
I know.
all the gods of all religions are things.
I hear you.
So you can pull
Right,
it. You
but
can pull another
already
religion.
But in the
established
DC universe, it's just established
Yeah,
that
yeah.
no,
All
nobody
the other
can kill
gods
her.
are dead.
If
Yeah.
she killed Ares,
So-
then
No,
she's
all the
indestructible.
other Greek gods are dead.
You're really splitting hairs here.
Well,
Yeah.
Like Egyptian gods?
yeah. If you wanted to push on things and pull in all these other characters,
If you want to put Wonder Woman in Gods of Egypt, I'm okay with that.
But no,
Just
but
as
what
you
I-
can kill
what I- yeah.
everybody in Gods of
no,
Egypt.
what I'm saying is they did the classic comic book thing and the classic story thing. They didn't show Ares' dead body. I did like that she said goodbye, brother, and she did her
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
She
But they
used-
didn't show his body.
They didn't
And
show his
I-
body.
and I like that
they
because-
just showed a big ass hole where he was standing, and that's it.
Right, and I like that because we could bring him back and actually
Yeah.
put somebody in front of her that
Yeah.
could kill her.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they said, only
Yeah.
a god can kill another god.
Yeah.
So, what villain in the DC universe is a god? What villain?
Yeah.
Excuse me, how
Anyone?
are we doing on empties over here, please?
Anyone? Bueller? No? So far, I got one, Ares. That's it. And you know what? If she bumped him off, then I'm going to be really bored with Wonder Woman because I know she'll make it out of every single gem.
Is
What
she
those
in
glasses are?
the Guardians of the Galaxy
Those
or
glasses.
Nope,
Green
that's
Lantern?
Marvel.
That's Marvel.
No, that's
Because
Marvel.
I see
No,
her showing up there and trying to
Well, no.
kick those
Here's
guys.
the thing too. You don't. You don't have to.
I
I'm
don't
still
think
pouring.
they're done
You're
with
okay,
it.
still pouring.
They're gonna go get
You
more
don't
bottles.
have to. Here's the other thing.
Thank you very much.
I
Classic
know, we
storytelling.
got to find her kryptonite.
You don't have to kill a god to take them out of the fight.
Yeah, it's still
And killing the
boring.
people she loves just makes
And,
her strong.
Yeah,
and
but
because
Then we're
she
talking
is-
about another superhero movie without
Well, no,
mortal danger.
well,
Like,
if
that's
she's-
going to make a very boring superhero movie.
Well, no, it would make a excellent villain, which most of these movies don't have, except for Loki. But he's more fun than actually an excellent villain.
Listen, until there was kryptonite, all Superman was doing was in black and white rescuing cats out of trees and stopping burglars.
That was-
Until
that was-
kryptonite
that
came
was-
along, and then oh shit, we got some villains.
That I don't
Before
think
then,
Kryptonite was ever
he's
actually
a-
on that show.
He's in black and white, and he's just rescuing Lois
That was-
Lane
that
from
was a great
a
show,
robbery.
I'm gonna jump on a mattress outside a window. That was so
Right,
great.
exactly. But prior to that, he was kind of he wasn't doing a lot. But as soon as kryptonite comes along, he can be in mortal danger now. He can be hurt. He can be killed. Now all of a sudden, it's interesting.
Is there anything
Yeah.
that hurt any of the gods?
Well, Wonder Woman.
Other gods.
Well, no,
But
like,
other
no,
gods.
But the way
did
they set it up.
Did any of the other gods have a kryptonite and I'm just blanking
Doesn't
on
seem
it?
like
Doesn't
it.
seem like
No, well, Superman's not a
well,
god.
especially when they
No,
say
no, I
only,
know, I
only
know.
a god can kill another god. That seemed to
But
be
I'm
the case
thinking-
because nobody seemed to be able to
Wait.
touch Ares.
Yeah.
No one seems to be able
No,
to
no, no,
touch
no,
She
no.
wasn't bulletproof though.
No, we don't know
That's
because
true,
We don't know
no,
that.
no.
One never.
She-
one,
she-
one,
All the
one
No,
never.
she had the
One
Matrix
never-
shield.
Okay.
She never got hit by a bullet.
No, she had a
No,
cut.
she
No, but
blinded
that
him.
cut.
She had a cut on her
Like,
arm that healed in a
instantly
day.
healed.
Yeah. Wait,
Okay.
so I actually just realized something. Now, of course, this isn't a villain. But I believe we have someone else in the DC universe who is also part of the God family.
Who's that?
You pointed out in that scene in the very beginning of the movie where it's that weird animation of the Battle of the Gods at the very beginning of time, you see just sort of a silhouette of most of the Greek gods on the top of presumably Mount Olympus. And you pointed out a certain weapon. What did you point out?
A trident?
It was.
Yes,
It was
because Poseidon.
Yeah, is a god too.
Oh, the
Isn't
Poseidon
he
and the
Aquaman's
Poseidon
father?
movie. Yeah,
Well, I think
No.
you're talking about
No,
Aquaman.
not Poseidon.
Who's the
No, no,
Who's the
Aqua-
son of Poseidon?
Yeah.
No, he's
Last time I
not.
checked, he
No,
was
he's not.
No?
No.
Okay.
All right.
No,
Okay,
no,
they
no,
can-
okay.
okay,
Poseidon
can
is
we
the
all
god
just-
of the sea. Aquaman is the king of the sea. They're not related by blood. Aquaman is half
The
like
king of the lost
Atlantean.
empire of Atlantis.
Yeah, Aquaman is half
right,
Atlantean,
right.
half human.
Right.
Can-
All right. So not God doesn't help, but then again, he's a good guy too. So we've already tried the two good guys versus each other.
Yeah, he does have all
I
the
was
power
just-
of the
I was
sea to
exploring
draw
something
on.
else, but
So
never
he's
mind.
No, I hear you, but no,
He's
I noticed I tried. Yeah,
Aquaman's kind of like an odd demigod by the sheer
but
volume and power that he can draw
He's not
from the
going to be
sea.
fighting
Yeah.
Wonder Woman to the death and
Yeah.
not
No,
be a
that
villain.
wasn't
Yeah.
what I meant. That wasn't.
What I keep getting back to is what Guy keeps saying about how he loves that we don't see Ares' body.
Yeah.
And DC reserves the right to bring him out of
Yeah.
a mothball.
Yeah.
Anytime
And that's
we
how
actually
you
want to
do
see
a
Wonder
good
Woman
story later
actually
on.
face mortal
Yeah.
danger.
Yeah.
Because now that we know that she's essentially invulnerable and immortal because she's a god.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't see me being like, oh, I hope she's going to make it out of this alive. No, of course she is. And it's not because, you know, she's in the movie, it's
because
she's
we've
invulnerable.
got it to the
first,
point.
The struggle with her, they can just make, oh, I won't be able to save these people, and B, if they really need to create a threat for her, just like make some alien that's basically a god, just like the whole Thor.
Well, no,
route
like with
that-
Wonder Woman, like they,
Thor,
well,
Thor's
like
a god.
no, he's
Marvel.
not. No, they're
That's
not.
Marvel.
No,
I don't give a
that's-
shit.
No, Thor's not a god.
Disney and Warner Brothers definitely
Yeah.
give a shit.
I'm pretty sure Thor said I am a god.
No, he said,
mean-
I'm not a god. We just live longer and we're built way better than human
Yeah.
He's
beings.
a $6 million
I mean,
man.
Yeah.
it's like they'll be able to fudge it.
Well, no, like
however
I
they
said,
want.
you don't have to kill a god to incapacitate him. Somebody can
I
equal
know.
her power, not even equal her power.
Yeah,
you can
I
go with
know.
the weakness of she'll always try to save everybody
Maybe the
she
chemist
can.
girl will figure out a way to
Yeah.
make gods. Hello, there you go. I don't know.
I don't know. I remember when Superman died. It was like part of America died in the early 90s.
Oh yeah,
I remember
No,
that summer.
It was on the news.
Yeah, I remember that summer.
It was
People
on
were
the news,
walking
yeah.
around with the Superman bleeding, like melting logo on T-shirts. I was like, "What the fuck is this? What happened?" They're like, "Superman died, man." It was like Kennedy was shot again. It was awful. It was terrible. People were freaking out. But why was it such? It was because he died. Because everybody had the preconceived notion that, hey, listen, he can never die.
Yeah,
He'll be around forever. Now he could, because DC figured out we know how we can make this more interesting.
Yeah,
Make him die, and we
Yeah.
can always bring him back, but make him actually die.
Last call.
Can I get another one?
Last call. Last call.
Thank you.
Last call.
12:30.
Hey guys, we're doing last call. If you want anything else.
Can I get just one Tecate?
Hurry up, guys! It's 12:30. We got less than an hour to get to
Anybody
another bar.
Can I have another cider?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you.
Unless he drank them all, but
Oh.
I think I have one left.
Okay.
If not, it's his fault. You want another gin?
Steven.
Yeah, another one. Thank you.
Well, I like the idea that Ares is. We don't really know.
We don't
We're pretty
know.
sure, but we don't
We
really
can't.
know.
We can't say because we didn't see his body. He's
Exactly.
not dead. There was no her warning because she had to do what she had to do to save the rest of
I like
humanity.
that.
All that stuff.
If they didn't put in that one line,
possibility's
if
there,
they
yeah.
didn't put in that one line of only a god can kill another god, I wouldn't have this problem. But they put it
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
DC has now written it into lore
Yeah.
in the movies. Only a god can kill another god. So unless she wants to commit suicide, I don't
Like
see
a
this.
half god, like Perseus. You think Perseus can come along
I don't
and
think
kill
so.
Killer?
You can only half kill her. You can be like really, really annoying to her.
Well, then you can always
Right?
you can always do the comic book thing where they fight to a point where she's injured and she's out of the picture for a while.
Yeah, I know, but you
when
keep
did-
coming back to this incapacitated thing. That's still not mortal danger.
Yeah.
I know. And
Well,
it's-
no,
that's
she
not good
can
enough.
she can get
Not
beat
good
up to
enough.
the point where she's out. You don't have to worry about her dying because she won't,
Not
but
good
she's
enough.
out of the picture.
Not good enough. You need a staff with kryptonite
Well,
spear tip at the end of it. I need to see that. I need to have her in mortal danger for me to really give a shit about her. Otherwise, it's just going to be more of the same.
I'd almost have to say we have to watch Batman v Superman again to see if she's actually ever worried about what's going on.
She doesn't seem to be.
She's kind of like, I've done this.
Really
doesn't.
a big old smile on her face.
Because she's kind of like, I've done this before.
Her only
you guys
worry,
are cool. You can
her
help
only
me.
worry is
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved because it'll cause more problems.
Yeah.
That's her only worry. Outside of that, she wades right into battle without a problem. So
And it bugs me that people are upset about her screaming and having fun in reviews and
that doesn't
shit.
bug me.
I love that.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, she defeats Ares and goes into hiding.
Yeah.
What she ended? I couldn't really make out the actual background. I'm assuming that's London.
No,
No, she's in France.
It was in Paris.
Because it started out in the Louvre. Yeah.
I didn't see
yeah,
I didn't see the Eiffel Tower. I didn't see Tower Bridge.
See, what I didn't see
didn't see-
was
just
what
saw
I
the Louvre.
like. The
Yeah.
another problem I had was at the,
No, I mean,
at the
no,
very
no,
end.
at the end when she just. But I
When
know
she puts on, when she puts on the gear and jumps out, she looks out.
Was that
and you're like,
2017?
Looks out
or
at the-
was that
that's now, yeah,
Oh, that was
that's now.
1918.
You like,
Oh, see, I didn't get that.
you see a couple boats
See,
and you hear
oh,
some
see-
sound and you're like, there's nothing going on.
Exactly.
What? Why is she out here? Yeah.
Why was she doing that? There was
Yeah.
nothing,
No, at the
yeah.
end, I
I
couldn't
heard
tell.
something. I heard booms.
Yeah,
don't know
I
Yeah, I
heard
heard
that too, but you
Yeah,
didn't
but
see
she goes
anything.
out and there's nothing
You
there.
don't see anything.
Well,
but maybe it was
I
farther
ass-
away. Maybe she can sense
Well, I didn't know if it was
assume-
1918 or 2017. I couldn't.
No,
I
it
couldn't
was
really
modern
tell.
times. Yeah.
No,
The costume doesn't change. She just
No,
like
it doesn't
no.
need to. It's time.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. But I didn't know what year because like I was trying
The
to like
only
get an
thing-
idea of like was there a steamship going by or a
And they're
helicopter?
like-
I assumed that was supposed to be the
the beginning of the next DC movie.
The begin-
where this
like-
boom
Yeah,
Part
that's
of Justice
yeah.
League,
Well, that's what,
but
the boom
like-
tubes. Yeah, that's the only thing I
like,
think of. It's the boom
the
tubes,
first
and it makes
time-
that sound that she's heard before
Paramorphs
with.
are coming.
like
Yeah,
like the
the
first time we
parademons.
see
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Dante, did you want two? Hopefully not. 'Cause I only brought one. Think okay?
Yeah, no, I'm assuming that's her call to action for the next.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah,
assuming
yeah.
the first
For the
time we
next
see
one.
her
That
in
makes sense.
Justice League, she's going to be finishing that leap.
That makes
Right
sense.
Thank you,
I can see that
kindly.
'cause we don't have another DC movie before Justice League.
Thank you.
No, it's Justice League.
It's
It's
just
What
goes
about
right
the
into
Aquaman movie?
No, that comes out after.
You're a tag, right, Andy?
Steven.
Not even close. Cool. Steven, thank you, guy.
keep it.
I didn't get you anything, but thank you. You're Nikki. I'm Kyle. Nice to meet you. I'm in the cocktail club. No big deal.
It just means he's an alcoholic.
Well, yeah. I mean, one DUI per state. Those are my rules.
Yeah, we get Justice League. I think before we get Aquaman. Aquaman comes out.
I
next
think,
year.
and I hate to say, because of circumstances surrounding Justice League, I think it'll be better than it would have been if it was only Zack Snyder.
Oh yeah.
It's sad to say.
Yeah.
I mean, John was saying it looks like Joss really isn't in charge of that
No,
much.
that's not what I found. That's what I found out. I found out that Joss is really just involved in just mopping up
In
post production.
post-production.
Okay, so-
but he's not going to be editing the movie. Still going to be at the WB.
So,
So I don't know how much he's going to be involved. He'll be involved in ADR. He'll be
Okay.
involved in any reshoots, I guess.
so,
But as far
little-
as critical
so-
changes to the storyline, I kind of doubt Joss Whedon, Mr. Avengers, is actually going to be doing it.
yeah, but we can all agree that little touches here and there can elevate a shitty story to something fantastic.
Yeah, no, I got you. But you know what? I'm not ready just
Yeah,
yet.
but he's coming on so late that I don't think
Yeah.
he has any influence over the
Plus,
story.
I'm not ready just yet to throw Snyder underneath the bus.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really blaming editors on both of those movies. That you
Well, I'm blaming
That's
writers.
just the whole circumstance of why he's coming
and
out
by
here.
the way, he
makes
got
me really not want to get
By the way-
excited. Oh, yay, Joss Whedon's
Yeah,
going to be
I
doing
know.
this.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I know. But if you notice, Zack Snyder got a story by credit in this movie that
Yeah.
we just saw.
He did.
So
Yeah.
for
It
everybody
wasn't
who liked
bad.
this movie, he got a story by credit. Now, that doesn't mean much. Story by could just mean he said, you know what? Have her fight.
He was
have
there.
her fight.
He was there in the room.
Yeah, have her fight Ares in the third act. Okay, that's it. He'll get a story by credit if they choose to use it.
I just gotta say it.
That's all the story by credit means. That's why there were 3 people
Well,
besides him.
That's
that
why
got
I
story
said
by
it.
credit.
Wait, Adam, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I know how this is amazingly unpopular, but damn it, I like Zack Snyder. Yes, Batman vs Superman was not a great movie. It had a lot of problems.
The director's cut was good.
The director's cut was very good, and overall, I think he's a solid director.
Yeah,
I really
I
like
think so,
Watchmen.
too.
I thought Man of Steel was really good.
I like Man of
too.
Steel. I like that movie a lot.
You know what I think about him? I think he's a great visual director. Like, I think he works best if
Yes.
he has someone else do a
Doing
plot.
his scripts.
Yeah.
Someone else does the scripts.
like with Watchmen, which I like Watchmen. It's like he practically Xeroxed the panels.
Yeah.
He used the comic.
His DP Xerox the panel.
Yeah.
I gotta give a little bit of credit to
Well,
him
I
using the
think-
same DP again and again and again, and why all of his movies kind of look the same again and again and again. It's not just because Watchmen is just like Batman. They're kind of not. They're both comic books, I'll give you that. But it's the
They're very
DP going in
different
there
comic
and
books.
saying, no, we need this panel in here. We can get rid of that panel, but we need this panel in here. We can get rid of this one. Oh, we need this one, the reveal of the villain.
Do we want to do a Sucker Punch episode?
Nah.
So
No,
I-
that's actually a good idea.
I love that movie because I have a completely different take on it than most people.
What movie?
It was
Sucker
Good
Punch.
idea.
Yeah, but
Let's do that
Sucker
tonight.
Punch was
Zack
the end
Snyder
of
directed it.
a lot of actresses' careers.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
a
Zack
movie.
Snyder
So,
tried
I just
to
think it would be a lot of fun to do a review of.
Which,
Yeah, I know,
which
but then
means
let's
a
also
bunch
do
of
it
women
for
in
Bernie's
skimpy
too.
outfits
Fuck
beating
yeah, let's
up
do one for that
chicks.
too.
The sequel.
So it's like
Yeah, why
a
not?
Transformers movie. They had to
Well,
wash his car to get
that's
parts.
why I say no, because I have a completely different take on that. I'm completely
Anyway.
off target.
So what do we
But
think?
this movie was this movie was
What do
great.
we think
I'm
of
not
this
going to
movie?
say fantastic.
I think it was a great movie.
I think
Yeah.
it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I-
Solid
it-
from beginning to
I'm
end.
in that like
It was one of those movies where it started out for me just like, oh no, is this did I like not see it? Did everyone just really want to like it so much that it improved it improved greatly when it actually got into the World War I stuff, but still I was feeling a bit hesitant. But by the end, I'm like, all right, you tied it together. Good movie.
It's an origin story.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got to have it. We won't have to do it again.
Yeah.
And it's solid for people that don't give a shit about superheroes.
It's
Oh,
all
Like
definitely,
I
yeah,
can take
yeah.
my mom. She doesn't know dick about shit if it's
Yeah.
not Star Wars. Let
It's
me
solid
make
for
that
people who
clear.
don't give a shit about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
here's-
go that far.
Like here's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
I was talking
You know?
to Adam about this, but like, you think me? I'm like not huge into comic book stories, but I've like watched TV shows and stuff, and I started to thought to myself, what do I know about Wonder Woman as a character?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I know nothing.
Serious, same.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
So
So this is
Yeah.
a movie for people who are like, I don't really know a lot about
And
it.
on the TV show, it was like
She's just
America,
kinda-
Well, she
right?
was-
it was like
It was Captain
white, and
America
blue.
in a bathing suit.
And
Yeah.
who started calling her Wonder Woman? Like I liked that she was Diana and she wasn't Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I
no,
really
no,
liked that.
Nobody
Actually,
calls her
no,
Wonder Woman in this movie.
Wonder
Yeah,
Woman's
but
not in this
when does
movie.
she get?
Yeah.
Who starts calling her
The,
that?
Yeah.
the present day
Right,
populace.
right, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we name everybody.
No, right, yeah,
You
but
know?
like, oh,
That's an
Batman.
interesting question.
Who strangled that 13th victim over
Yeah.
there? Oh, it's the Strangler.
Iron Man. Yeah,
Is that his
was it-
name? No, that's just what we call
Is it
him.
some
He's
random
the
reporter,
Strangler.
like the random reporter that gave Magic Johnson
Well, yeah.
the magic name?
Superman was called Superman.
Or
by
did
somebody.
Iron Man go? Wonder Woman, you know,
Well,
is it?
a reporter calls him Iron Man,
It's
who
not
is Iron
Iron
Man,
Man.
and then he's like,
Oh, no,
I am Iron Man.
the way Superman, it's like, what does the S stand for?
Hope. It stands for hope. Hope doesn't start
Hope
with an
starts with
idiot.
an H, stupid. Hope starts with an H, stupid. Hey, what's this?
See, for me, this movie
What's
falls
this
kind of like in
charity?
Yeah, this is an action movie, like dudes. It's
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
chick movie, even though there's all chicks in it.
No,
it's not
it's-
the love
no,
story
it's-
bullshit.
This
Yeah,
is an
yeah,
awesome
yeah.
chick
I like
movie.
that they didn't
It was
show.
a chick action, an
Yeah.
action chick movie.
No,
like
it's
that
an
they-
awesome chick movie.
They
We-
closed the door. They were making out. They closed the door, and that's it.
Yeah.
Next morning, she wasn't walking around like, I'm not a virgin anymore. That's all I could think of. When she's
Yeah.
never kissed anyone, she's never done
Yeah.
fucking shit.
There was no like joking around from the other
And in
guys
the
of like,
morning-
oh, you guys are walking out of the same bedroom. Like it was just like, no, like okay, let's get down to shit.
And
Yeah,
she,
yeah.
she
This,
wasn't
we're
walking
gonna do
around
that.
going like, do I look different? Do I look different?
Yeah,
Do I look
exactly.
different? Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was
That's
just-
how I felt. I'm like, can you
This
tell?
was
Can you
this
tell?
was definitely a chick movie. It just wasn't a rom com.
No, exactly. That's what I mean.
It's a chick
That's what
movie.
I-
It's
Speaking
just
of
not a
that,
rom-com.
I really liked
This breaks
how
that
subtle
cycle.
they did one thing, which is so they're on the boat and she's talking to him about I've read all of Cleo's like
All the
12
treatises, the 12 treatises,
pleasures.
yeah.
All 12, huh?
He's like, oh, so Cleo decides that men are necessary for reproduction, but not necessary for pleasure.
Right.
And one thing that
All the
like,
guys in the front row growing.
well, there was a whole group of like dude bros over the
assholes,
front.
yeah.
on
It was the
right
bearded
who were
hipsters. There was-
laughing at weird things.
There was 20 bearded
but
hipsters.
what
All
I
dateless.
liked was something that they did really subtly, which is that her aunt Antiope clearly has a female partner, a female romantic partner, who is the one who comes crying to her side.
I thought that might have been her daughter. See,
I
my
didn't
first
get
thought,
that.
I
I
didn't
thought
realize
daughter.
that. I thought
Has
daughter,
kids,
but
'cause no one
nobody
else
There's
has
no
kids.
daughters. Yeah,
That's
that's
her
right.
partner.
Okay, like
That's, I thought what you thought, Nikki, but she's right. There's nobody has kids.
Is it just me,
No, that was her partner.
or did you kind of have a hard time telling the Amazons apart?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't
Well,
that.
I mean, you're not supposed to really. There's her mom and her aunt.
There's only like two.
There's
that
only
you need
two
to-
named characters.
Well, and
Right.
like the one black chick. There might
Yeah,
have
yeah,
been
yeah.
Right.
No,
yeah.
there were several
But-
black chicks, which I liked.
There were
Because
several.
for the very
No speaking roles, really.
Not true.
Of notoriety.
Not true. Well, of notoriety.
That's what I mean.
But I was really panicked for the first, 2 minutes because the very first black woman we see is her nanny.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was
School
like,
teacher.
oh God, that's not going to be the
we're
only
doing
black
this.
Amazon, is it? It's
Yeah,
her
yeah,
nanny.
yeah.
Is her name
Oh
Mammy?
God, oh God. And,
Mammy,
and
the
then
Amazon
you
princess
saw
warrior?
other black Amazons fighting and
Yeah,
the training
that-
practice.
that-
I was
that
like, okay.
Yeah.
We're
That
not
helps.
doing tokenism. Okay.
That helps. That helps a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked the idea that when she rolled over, when she said, "Oh, men aren't necessary for pleasure," I was just all masturbation. Yeah, they're insinuating that we do that because we do.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that
And I
it
like
was
how
clear
she was
that
like,
she
okay,
has.
good night. Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
Amazonians, I didn't get the impression they do anything but train. And that's it.
Well, no, and that's
I
the
was.
problem.
I know.
That's
Yeah.
the
I know.
problem.
We don't get a big glimpse into that world as much as you think
No,
we
that's
do.
the problem with guys.
No, not really.
Is they don't understand.
No, I
They
can
train a lot.
Hey,
they're
listen,
very, very
I can guess,
complicated
and I can
rituals.
easily let my imagination wander in places that I don't feel comfortable talking about right now. About what I thought was going on that island.
I have no idea what you
But
mean.
I really got the impression they kept building up like we're training, work can come at any time, Aries can come at any time, we're training. I didn't really get a lot into their society that much, only except with what had to do with her.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Anything
Well, they didn't
about their
show
society had to do with her because
Yeah.
we didn't get our huge in-depth look into their world.
And my only thought is that they'll do an entire other movie
That'd be
about
nice.
that. Like,
I could see it. I mean, she's
yeah.
already got her own
Well, they can.
movie.
Here's the
We'd
thing:
have to
it's
see a
set up,
Wonder Woman too, but
and they can come back to that island.
it would have to
Right.
happen.
They can come back to
Well, so one thing I noticed because I was doing a little bit of IMDb
I'm okay
just
with that.
cast research earlier, because I was trying to figure out what other movies I'd seen the woman who plays Hippolyta, her mother, in,
Uh-huh.
and I saw that woman is also cast as playing Hippolyta in Justice League.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to be flashbacks or what.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, because I think we're going to see a little bit more Amazon culture in Justice League.
I thought it was interesting that the guy she killed with the sword
Ludendorff.
was the guy from X-Men.
Yes.
Even though they're not obviously not the same guy.
No,
Yeah,
very.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was
different
like,
universes.
really, you're gonna
Different
cast?
studio.
Yeah,
but they
you're
would
gonna
pick
cast
that
the same
actor?
person. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Hughes, he always plays
Yeah.
the bad guy in
Yeah.
superhero
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
This
He,
is,
he's good at it, and DC knows they need to bring in familiar faces because they need to start steering people away from Marvel because right now Marvel has the monopoly. They need to start grabbing people away.
Well, no, well,
Say, hey, remember Michael Keaton? Remember Tim Burton? You can forget about Bat Nipples, but you remember?
Yeah, fucking Bat
you remember? Christopher Reeves. We were your superhero people. What happened? Why'd you go all to Marvel all of a sudden?
Because they made good movies.
Right. So they need to bring back all the familiar faces. Exactly. They need to bring back all the familiar faces that they can find And whoever doesn't have a contract with Marvel, with the mouse, with Disney, they need to shove them into their movies and fast, and that's why they're racing to Justice League because they are years behind the Avengers.
But like
they're racing.
I mean, like that. Wonder Woman was the most Marvel thing they've done.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
A good standalone movie that it was the most successful Marvel thing to set up a Justice League movie that they did. Except for
it comes after
so
Batman
much better.
v Superman.
Yeah, so much better than Batman v Superman. Were like, Justice League. You know what I mean? Justice League. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Nudge, nudge.
I still say the other noticeable outing that they did was Man of Steel. It's just that movie wasn't setting up the Justice League.
So who's in the Justice League?
Oh yeah,
let's go down the roster.
Everybody saw in that opening logo to this movie.
I saw Green Lantern in that opening logo.
Which
Did
was
you
like
spot that?
that's way
the
off.
entire DC universe
He's
is
in the
Justice
Justice
League.
League.
Yeah, but he's like 2020 for
Right,
his
exactly.
movie. Yeah,
Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman. Cyborg.
Who's actually a Teen Titan, but has been replaced.
He's been upgraded.
He got a promotion.
Because they need some black people in the Justice League.
Well, no, because he's technologically tied to the boom boxes and manipulating technology. The boom boxes are technology.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
No,
We're DC.
Cyborg.
We're playing catch up here with
Yeah.
Disney and Marvel. We'll take whoever. Come on board. You're hired.
Yeah.
We'll take anybody. So I don't care. Whoever's in Justice League, I'll take it. I did see Green Lantern in the opening logo. They are clearly very thrilled to death that they have DC, that is.
Yeah.
They have Green Lantern because they included him in their new logo.
Because Green Lantern,
was it the white?
No, for everybody.
White.
So for everybody,
Well,
Green Lantern
it
could take
came
on
really
Wonder
fast.
Woman.
I'm sorry?
Why?
His powers are that
But he's not a god.
he doesn't need to be a god.
He doesn't need to be a god.
He needs to
The
believe
ring.
in what he's actually doing to create
the
something
ring.
that can do what it needs to do.
Exactly. The ring kind of does all the job.
That's how
No,
badass
but you just said
Green
he
Lantern
could
is.
take on Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Oh, could take on.
Oh yeah.
no.
Yeah.
We just learned only a god
Yeah,
can
no,
kill another
no.
god.
Well, I think they can
okay.
probably make God.
No. Okay. Here's the
they're
thing.
not. These
Here's
are
the
not.
thing.
These are not literal
When
gods,
I say-
Judeo-Christian.
No,
gods.
listen.
They're clearly not Judeo-Christian gods.
Listen, Ray.
No.
But-
When I say
When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
When I say can take on Wonder Woman is an even match in a fight, I don't say kill because he wouldn't
That's what
kill
I
her.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've
He
seen Superman
could
be
take
killed
her
before.
out of the
I want
fight.
to see that.
He could take her out of the fight,
Eh.
and that's where DC.
I know you
has
keep
its-
splitting that hair, and that's
We're
great.
DC
It still
They're two
doesn't work
heroes.
for me.
Why would we have
Still
two
doesn't work
heroes
for me.
fighting each other?
That's
Well,
where you.
we had a
That's where
movie
you
that
get a
tried to
better
do that.
story.
Decent. You can use the term God pretty liberally.
Well, no,
Just like
that's where you get a better
Green
story.
Lantern,
Where you
Marvel,
have,
man.
where you
Marvel
have
does.
Green Lantern, he has a ring that basically makes him a god.
Eh.
It, will,
Yeah, like
it actually,
Marvel,
it actually, it
I
actually
mean,
does.
Stan is just
yeah.
one big Jesus allegory, so
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
he's a god.
Yeah.
Superman is a god.
And I mean, like, does anyone
To-
does anyone pray
to
to
Earthlings,
Diana?
yes. But not the
And-
Krypton.
I'm pretty
They
sure
should.
Not to
Obviously.
Kryptonians.
Like,
they should, but they
he
don't.
could take on
And Diana doesn't gain power through being
like
worshipped.
really like a worthy fight.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's kind of indestructible. She's kind of
No,
indestructible.
here's why Green
Yeah,
Lantern
I've seen
can
him get
take
killed
on.
before.
Here's why
well,
Green
so-
Lantern can take on anyone. Okay, Green Lantern's powers are based off of willpower and
Yeah, I know.
imagination and
All
possibility.
right, the fact that they included him in the new logo that looks an awful
and
lot
that's
like
what-
awful lot like Marvel's logo, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
No, it
no,
doesn't.
no. 'Cause
They flash
Marvel's new logo.
Steven, you know what I'm talking about. They see
No,
all the
no,
flashes and everything of all the comic. And DC's done this before.
Okay, no.
DC's done this before, but they
DC,
they just
DC,
changed it.
DC was clearly saying like, hey, Marvel has this cool intro
Right,
thing,
right.
but we're gonna do
We're
a
gonna
large,
do it
goddamn
too.
it.
Right, they did the same thing. They're playing catch up. But I know, we all have noticed. I know you and me especially noticed the Green Lantern made like they put him in there. I thought that was the movie they were all embarrassed that they made. That was the movie that made Ryan Reynolds
Well, that
get
was
out of his
supposed to
contract
be-
and jump ship to go to
No,
Marvel.
Green Lantern was supposed to
Do
be
you
the
think-
start of the DCU,
Right, and
but
do
it
you
tanked.
think? And do you think they're going to go back to that? And they're going to bring Green Lantern back again?
No,
Why
they're
else-
gonna bring Green Lantern
They
back
are?
because Green Lantern is actually kind of fucking badass.
I'm okay with that if they do it right. They did a shitty job with Ryan
Because
Reynolds.
Green Lantern is.
I'm asking you, do you... I know
Green
you
Lantern
love
is
him. I know,
imagine
but
being
do
able
you
to
think they're
make
gonna bring it back?
anything you can possibly ever think
I
of
know.
come to fruition.
I know. But do you
To
think
help people.
Do you think they're going to bring him back in this?
Oh yeah.
Do you think we're going to see him in Justice League, one of the sequels?
No, he's. I think he's listed for
Is
his
he?
solo movie in 2020,
Really?
and they're
See, I
gonna
didn't know
probably work him in
All right.
because like the Green Lanterns are.
Taking my pants off 10 minutes. No one else is here.
Thank you.
Sweaty. No one wants to be here in 10 minutes.
That's how he scares people out.
So,
Okay, so we'll see a Green Lantern. Okay. Well, I think they'll hopefully
Well,
will have
that's why I
learned
say
from the
Green
last
Lantern
outing.
could take on a god, could take on pretty much anybody, depending on his mindset entering the battle.
Yeah, and every big fan of any superhero will say the same thing about their favorite superhero.
No, I won't say that about Spider-Man.
Okay, good.
My favorite superhero.
All right, fine. Anyway, I like this movie. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
I went into it, but I think that partly came from coming off the heels of Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman. I had kind of a low bar, which is sad
Yeah.
to say, but I had kind of a low bar. This one was as good, if not better, than what I expected, so I'm happy with it.
See, I'd say for this movie, it's that, like I said with Ghost in the Shell, what's between good and great, because that's where Ghost in the Shell is. For this, I'd say what's between great and fantastic, because that's kind of where this movie falls.
I did like this better than Ghost in the Shell.
It covers all.
Because
Yeah.
it has so much for just like the exploration of superheroes and everything.
For the new...
And then it does that turn on its head because you're, and I'll be blatantly honest, you're following a woman as the lead superhero. So the majority of your audience is rooting for somebody that they have no relation to whatsoever. But it's that good of a movie.
For the new phase of the DC universe, I think it's this one and Man of Steel are the best movies. I think they are. They got the smallest amount of plot holes. They all make sense. And weirdly, they're both the origin stories.
Yeah.
But they all work. I'm left wanting more. That's good.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, you know what, you could end it now and just have all these characters come back as ancillary characters in other movies, and I'm okay with it. Because I think they didn't do a great job. Batman v Superman, like, well, I know we're going to see these guys again, so it's like, all right, so you tripped and
See,
fell
like,
on the first one.
I actually want to
But
go.
that's okay.
I actually want to go through Suicide Squad, and
We
I
did.
must have to say, Zach,
We did.
No,
and
no.
I think we may even get a two-parter.
No, me, I want to go back through and re-edit Suicide Squad, and maybe Zack started it up with some slow motion
Well-
scenes, so things are explained and you can't get away from the
This
explanation
one-
because it's just so.
This one was pretty...
There's so much potential in that movie.
This
that
one was
just
pretty
ruined.
good. I got a few
Yeah.
little tiny, like,
Yeah.
nitpicky problems, like about the gas, for instance.
Yeah.
Why didn't Chris Pine die when he inhaled it? You know, stuff like that. But outside of that,
Too pretty to die.
I think
Well,
so.
he didn't inhale enough of it. That.
No, I think
That's my
I
simple
think it's-
takeaway. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's because he's too pretty.
I think you're right. I think
that
you're
works
right.
too.
Regardless, he survived, only to
Yeah.
kill himself and sacrifice himself, and I got it. Okay.
Which
cool.
I like I
like
said,
it.
I understood because
Hey, I got it.
At
When
first, I
they
thought
had
with
their-
the photograph, I was
Yeah.
all, "Oh, that's proof that they all make it to the end." Oh no,
No,
because I didn't like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
no, they made it that
I'm
far.
glad
Yeah.
they didn't do that. I'm glad somebody dies.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd hate to think they all make it to the end, only to die of old age over the next several
And it
years.
wasn't the Indian.
right.
I mean, like,
So why-
knowing what Wonder Woman knowing Wonder Woman's attitude, I'm just like looking at Chris Pine like, you're so fucking dead.
Well, anyway, I like the movie. I
like
can't
it.
wait for Justice League.
See it.
I think if
Same.
it's coming off the heels of this, I'm even more excited now.
Agreed.
I'd say go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
go see it.
Sure.
Oh, definitely
Yeah.
go see it. Even if,
Yeah.
especially if you don't know shit about Wonder Woman, definitely see the movie.
The most subtle love story. It was
but it
so
works.
it was perfect. No, that's what, and it was in what I would dare to call realistic.
I'll
Yeah,
take it.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
take it.
in that respect
Stephen Wolf, I don't
that it
think-
wasn't as over dramatic as like rom-coms.
Yeah.
It was like they're kind of we don't really know each other and we're kind of making innuendo, but then we're backing away from it.
Yeah.
Like, real people probably would.
Yeah.
I did
dug that.
I did want to see what dancing on them
Yeah,
there
I
was
wanted
actually
to know what
Yeah.
dancing
I wanted
looked
to
like,
see what
too.
that was like.
I
I
know,
wanted
she's
to see
a
that,
break
but
dancer.
yeah,
She's a
yeah,
pop and locker.
yeah.
We'll
You know
see
she
it. We'll
is.
see if she heads back to the Amazonian island in the next
She has
outing.
like the magic cardboard that she throws out.
Bam!
I do kind of want to see the Amazonian electric
Windmills
slide.
left and right, knocking people
See how
out.
that
Yeah.
goes.
Oh, God.
I want to see how that works.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Alright, guys, we're closing up.
Well, there you go.
All
We have.
right. Give us,
There you go. We have it right
give us
there.
5 more.
No, we're done.
All right.
I've been trying to close out this
All right.
episode and for 10 minutes
Yeah.
now.
Let's hit the stop button on the recorder.
We could. We got
We'll call it the end.
Good night,
we
everybody.
got to call at the
We've been
end.
trying to call it the end.
Thanks for stopping by Back to Cat Videos.
Excellent podcast.
Excellent podcast.
Great
good podcast.
movie. Go
Great
see
movie.
it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Podcast videos. Or
And I'll
cat
have to
videos.
make a point to say this. Artie, we love you.
Cat videos.
Our one actual